We spilled a Coke last week.
I did. I'm so sorry.
I forget what these are. Ready, Dougie?
Sure am. Let's do it.
Welcome to Bungalow 605, the brand new Croc Park. Welcome to Forks, Washington, year 2008, because, you know, we're going back, y'all. Welcome to the Black Bear. Welcome to the Den. Welcome to the Snug. Dougie Reiser.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Bella Bella.
Hello.
Ashley Mae King.
Hello, everybody.
I'm Rosie, and we are the JuJuBeez. On the Stick, the 5-film saga starring Robert Pattinson, Kristen Stewart, and oh yeah, Taylor Lautner. Twilight.
So Twilight, New Moon, and Eclipse follow the story of Bella Swan, who moves to Forks, Washington to live with her father. There she meets Edward Cullen, a handsome but mysterious teen with a secret. He and his family are vampires. Her life gets turned upside down in a world of vampires, werewolves, secret organizations, and a redhead out for vengeance.
Okay, welcome to part one of our two-part discussion on the Twilight Saga. Part two of our discussion will be available next week, so make sure you stay plugged in and look for that. Ashley Mae King is going to break down the first 3 films in this episode, Twilight the Original, New Moon, and Eclipse. That's coming up. But first, I got to tell you, it has been a house divided. Because we've got some Team Edward.
Yes.
And we've got some Team Jacob.
Ow!
And, you know, it's getting heated, y'all. It's getting heated. So we thought, what a better way to show our Twilight spirit than with some friendly competition. A battle of true and false, or true or false, in our segment called You Can't Handle the Truth. Doug Reiser will read 3 questions to each player. Ashley Mae King is representing Team Jacob.
Ooh.
Bella Bella fiercely representing Team Edward.
You are going down.
3 points is what you get. You both get 3 questions. Whatever you get tonight will, if you win, you're in the lead going into round 2. We're going to do round 1 tonight, and then of course in part 2 we're going to do round 2. They're worth 1 point tonight, worth 2 points going forward. Let's get started, Dougie.
Let's do it. Bella Bella, you are up. Ooh. Edward Cullen's instrument of choice is the piano. True or false?
True.
She knows. Yes. You can handle the truth. All right. Good job. Ashley, Taylor Lautner, who plays Jacob in Twilight, was born in South Bend, Indiana. True or false?
That's false. Wasn't he born in Germany?
But she did get it right, but no, he was not born in Germany.
Oh.
Grand Rapids, Michigan.
So you were correct.
Okay.
You got the point.
Right.
Oh, well, what a shame.
Let's keep it moving. Bella
German,
Bella.
though. Yes.
Number 2, Edward's favorite animal to hunt is deer. True or false?
We tricked a few folks on Instagram with this one.
Tricky.
True.
False.
I know this one.
Mountain lion.
Yeah.
Oh, now that you say that.
Ashley Mae King can take the lead here.
Let's do it. We got number 2 for Ashley. Jacob and Bella's first kiss was a new moon. True or false?
False. They never kiss a new moon.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
Nice job.
Their first kiss was in
Eclipse.
Yes.
He kisses her and she breaks her hand on his face.
Team Jacob's making a strong case. Someone knows her man.
Bella
Okay.
Bella's up.
Bella
Here we
Bella.
go. Number 3.
Try to tie it up here.
Robert Pattinson, who plays Edward in Twilight, was born in London, England. True or false?
True.
Yeah. Got it. You can't handle the
You
truth.
needed that point. You needed
Good
it.
job. All right, Ashley, here we go. Here's your third and final question for this round.
By the way, it is 2-2. If Ashley gets this, she will win round 1. If she doesn't, they're tied. And of course, we'll have to take this into next weekend. But let's see what happens here tonight. Go ahead.
Work it out. In Eclipse, Jacob gives Bella a graduation gift That gift is a charm bracelet. True or false?
It is true. It has a little wolf on it.
She's good. True. You can handle the truth. Good job. Good job.
Ashley
Bravo.
Mae King and Team Jacob take the lead in round one. Make sure you guys stay plugged in this week because these two are going at it again next weekend. And 2 points, 2 points per question next round.
It's
So
a battle.
Everything to play for.
everything to play for. Good game, guys. Good game.
Good
Okay,
job,
let's transition into a little discussion. Ashley Mae King is going to take us back to the origins of this franchise. Give us a breakdown of the first 3 films in this saga. What you liked, what you loved, what not so much. Take it away.
All right. So just like a bit of personal history, I guess. I first read these books when they came out. I think I was 15 at the time, so very much their prime demographic. And just like every awkward teenager, I very much saw myself in Bella Swan. So much so I wore Converse to prom. Is that cringe? Yes. But that just shows you how much this story permeated our culture at the time. And indeed, there does seem to be a bit of a Twilight renaissance going on. And no, I'm not making a Renesmee joke. I saved all those for part 2. Where it's in the spotlight again, and perhaps it never fully left. This is mostly to be reviled, mocked, and memed, and deservedly so at times. But I think this resurgence speaks to what is a defining series for millennials as a whole, in that we are still talking about it. I can't really think about a film or series to better encapsulate the culture around being a teenager in the 2000s. Watching it through the lens of this discussion and trying to separate like my previous perceptions of it, I did find myself really enjoying it. It doesn't compare to the excitement of originally watching it in theaters, where the oohs and ahs every time anyone was shirtless.
Oh my God.
Just were so loud. And I do think that the film kind of does fan service with that in mind. There's that one line in Eclipse where Jacob says, "Well, I am hotter than you." And there's this palpable pause that I think was built in for everyone in the audience to just like holler as much as they could. And they did. And I think that is what this film does really well. It's a good marriage between camp in that sense, and also like these very real stakes. Tonally, it has flavors of romance and action, comedy and suspense. We get a bit of a forbidden romance, and then we get so close to a friends to lovers character arc as well. And I really love watching that played out. The first film really does focus on that kind of forbidden love between the lion and the lamb, if you will, between Edward and Bella. And then we get to explore that friendship arc with, that will they, won't they between Jacob and Bella in New Moon. And then Eclipse really throws her in the middle of the two of them. That all kind of comes to a head while they're up on that mountaintop, and all throughout the cinematography is absolutely gorgeous, and it has like the most killer soundtrack. I think Eyes on Fire has been on every playlist I've made since 2008, and I'm not even ashamed. So yeah, I really like these films. I obviously have a history with them. But
and you read the books.
I read the books. I was fully in this world, and when I first read the books, I considered myself very firmly in the Team Edward camp. But now to watch them and to get into what I don't like so much really does come down to Edward Cullen. I think that watching it now, a lot of his behaviors that seemed romantic come across a bit more troubling to me. Like there are all these red flags that signify like emotional abuse that are romanticized in the fiction. He gaslights her. He tells her no one's gonna believe her. He invades her space, watches her sleep, insists on knowing every detail of her life, and is so controlling. He at one point sabotages her car so she cannot leave to go visit Jacob. That's an Eclipse.
We've all done that.
Haven't we? No. But like in the fiction, these behaviors are seen as romantic, as being like, oh, he loves her so much. If a friend came to me and said someone was doing this to them, I would be taking them to the station for a restraining order immediately. But that's the fantasy we're living in.
I get it.
Good.
But that's the fantasy we live in. It's these vampires, and we're meant to see this as romantic. And I cannot help but question, is that harmful to present that to young teenage girls as a a form of romance, you know, these very impressionable young minds that almost gave a pass to a generation of emotional abusers because of that Twilight mindset. That I do call into question. So I sit very resolutely now in the camp of Team Jacob. And speaking of, Jacob Black is fictionally a member of the very real Quileute tribe. Their culture and name are used as background fodder, which is another thing I don't super love is how they were used. They never saw any financial benefit from their inclusion as a key element in the plot of the Twilight Saga, while Stephenie Meyer, Summit Entertainment, and others have made millions. Indeed, they currently have a fundraiser going to enable them to move their school that is in a tsunami zone to higher ground to preserve their legacy and their stories. You can visit that at mthg.org. That stands for Move to Higher Ground. mthg.org, and I do urge you to check it out.
We'll put that in the we'll put that below for the YouTube followers.
Fantastic. Cool. I love that. Yeah, and I do think like the culture around Twilight has really like embraced what is good, and because there is plenty of good. I think these films get reviled unfairly and made fun of unfairly when really they're solid films. But I think some of the nature of the more problematic themes are also being rightfully discussed, and one of them is, you know, the exclusion of the Quileute tribe from any proceeds that went towards these films. Yeah. But yeah, that's
great information.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we're discussing, obviously, kind of talking about these first three films. I mean, when you go back and remember watching these for the first time as they sort of came out, how did this start? How did this set the stage for Breaking Dawn?
Oh, I mean, the excitement was so like visceral because like as the books came out, the first one came out in 2005. I think they came out the subsequent years since then, and the first movie was set to release I think 3 months after the last book, Breaking Dawn, came out. So there was this frenzy of all Twilight like media in like 2008 or so. I think that was my junior year of high school, so very much like in that time. Yeah, it was an absolutely wild time. And going into Breaking Dawn, you know, expectations were high. I think that book, we'll go into my feelings on all of that, I guess, in part two, because Breaking Dawn to me does stand apart from the rest of them. I'm
going to say this. I'm a dude, you know, you can guess about how old I am. I'm not the tween demo that you're, you know, that they're going for. So I had to dig into this thing. I mean, I hadn't seen a lick of Twilight, maybe a little of the first one, but I didn't really know. And, you know, I got a lot of messages this week from buddies that are like, you're doing Twilight, you know. I got to tell you, I mean, it's much better than it's given credit for. For the folks that love it, you know, and I'll say this about Twilight fans, y'all are maniacs. I thought sports fans were nuts. This is on a completely different level.
Culture.
Here's what I will say about the film, or the series of films we're discussing, these first three. I told Ashley early in the last week when I watched the first one, I said the first hour of the first one, I was like, is this really this good?
Right.
And then it gets a little weird, you know, but the first hour, I would have, you could have given me 2 whole Twilights of the cat and mouse, of the, you know, Lois doesn't know it's Superman stuff. Right. I like all that give and take. I like the brooding classroom back and forth. Loved that. Then it does get a little different, but what I like is you do feel like you're in good hands. These are good filmmakers. These are good storytellers. But there's no doubt that you come away with the realization that this franchise really hinges on these 2 superstars.
Yeah.
Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart are rock stars.
Yes.
It's a great story, and I think the series of films probably would have done well. The books did pretty well, as I understand.
Yeah,
she makes $40 million a year off of the books alone every year.
I mean, it's amazing.
But yeah, I think you have these Beatles-like, you know, superstars in Pattinson and Stewart, and they dated, and all of that sort of on the periphery. I think I can see how that makes this somewhat irresistible. And then you get into Breaking Dawn, which we watched right here in Bungalow 605 last night. That's for the second discussion. But wow, I'm going to make an argument with a lot of my buddies as you show me a more epic wrap up to a saga than this, but that's for a later discussion. But why don't we get into our scoring? We did things a little bit differently. We went ahead and had everybody, all the JuJuBeez, submit their scores. So here's what we've got for the first 3 Twilights. And normally we score on a 10 scale. So for the original, our cumulative score for the original Twilight is a 37.
Great.
For New Moon, the second film, our cumulative score, it took a little hit. Maybe the second one wasn't,
How
as
dare
good
you
for some of
guys.
us. Yeah. Ashley was a 10 across
When
the
they're
board.
building that motorcycle together, it's so cute.
I love that.
So 30,
cute.
34 for New Moon, and then we it gets our interest back up a little bit for Eclipse. Our cumulative
is
score of
great.
Eclipse is 36. All 3 of those scores make our recommendation for these first 3 films. We aren't saying see it tonight, but see it very soon. That's for all 3. Ashley Mae King, wrap us up.
All right, so Twilight, New Moon, and Eclipse are each rated PG-13 for violence, some romantic moments, and some scary moments. They have a runtime around 2 hours, and you can watch them on Netflix, YouTube, Google Play, Apple TV, Vudu, and Amazon Prime.
Check these out. Okay. Part 2 discussion. Don't forget that's next weekend. But here's what you can expect. Round 2 of our True or False, Team Jacob versus Team Edward. Bella, you think you can come back on this
ready.
one?
I've got to.
You ain't got a chance.
Get ready.
And you might be wondering what Doug and I think. Which team? What's our alliance?
Where are you?
We're going to reveal that in discussion 2. We're not
right.
going to say anything yet. And I got to tell you, I'm still on the fence.
Surprise.
I started
I see.
Team Jacob, but I'm changing a little bit. We're going to get to that. But
I'll let you know. Yeah,
guys,
I'll let you know for sure.
That's a Twilight wrap.
No giveaway yet.
Doug Reiser,
Good job, everybody.
Bella,
Thank you, and I'm all for Edward.
It's been a pleasure.
Ashley Mae King.
Ow!
As always, JuJuBeez.
Peace out, everybody.
Ciao.
I want to go watch it again. I rewatch these movies like
I'll take
at
the
least
first
twice
one.
a year, you know?
What about
5
Team
times in a
Bella?
row.
What's up with that?
I'm Team Charlie, to be honest. That mustache. Are you kidding? Her dad?
Oh,
he's doing the best he can.
He is so sweet.
He is.
Who's the? Tell me what's the character's name? The bad guy in the final one. The one that she reveals the future to.
Oh, Arrow?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who plays
Michael
that?
Sheen.
God,
Michael
Sheen.
Sheen.
That's right. We were talking about him.
What an unhinged performance. He's so
brilliant.
He's
No,
great.
it's
It's
really-
great.
it's
It's
really
great.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really good. All right. All right. Let's go do something.
Let's do it.
All right, guys. Good one.
Let's go play baseball.
What an epic game of. Now that's Field
was
of
a fun
Dreams.
scene.
That's a Field of
Go
Dreams.
mess with somebody's car.